To start this video, I want to talk about the 1 minute and 16 second view duration for my previous update video, which was the first one. That is a shocking performance. I know it's not, the purpose of these videos aren't to keep people retained, but if you're only watching a minute of my update, then it's obviously it's not maybe as interesting, it's maybe not as engaging as it could be. So we've got the studio again for this update. It's going to be quick, it's going to be to the point, and hopefully you're going to learn something. So over the last week, what have I been working on with my program, Taku Rawa? It is a personal accounting software that I'm going to be submitting to the Swift Student Challenge in 2026. It's just like a monthly budget tool, right? Personal accounting software is just a fancy way, a fancy thing you can call it. So I'm going to just start by running you through the changes I've made to the application and its interface. And there's not really that much, to be honest. I haven't been doing all that much. So it's going to be a really quick update. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop over to the white screen afterwards, and I'm going to run you through what my sort of vision and how I want the program to work will. I'll just talk about that for a while. So first of all, one of the changes I made is that I created a secrets file with my API keys, and don't think you're getting them. I mentioned that in the last video. I'm going to do my best to make sure you can't have any access to my bank account or any of the money I have. Not that there's all that much, to be honest. So you can select use environment variable tokens, which is that's what I was going to do originally. But I changed that to just have a secrets file because it was easier, and just don't push that to GitHub. So maybe it's a challenge for you to see if you can actually access my tokens, my API tokens. And please don't. I don't want that. I mean, even if you do, while I'm testing and sort of playing around with the Akahu API, which is the API I use to access information about my bank and my transactions and my sort of money habits, I suppose. All you can do is you can access how much money I have in two accounts and some other stuff. So it's pretty basic. So there's no point in even trying, really. So we can refresh. We can ask the API to refresh our data because it serves you a cached version. Especially for like myself, I'm doing this sort of personal development, so there's no reason that Akahu is going to hold an up-to-date version of what my bank account will look like, or how much money, what my balance will look like for my bank account. So I have to ask the Akahu API to refresh that data. I think they do it once every 24 hours, and you can change how often it's done, but I've added a button here so you can actually call the refresh URL or component of their API. You can fetch the data, and you can see once again how much I have in my checking and my everyday account, which is just two of the accounts that I've selected for developing this tool with. I have this budget view or tab that I've created, and I have this transactions one here which doesn't have anything on it yet. For the budget, I've just been playing around with sort of how I could visualize or view data and how the user is going to be able to interact and sort of manage what their budget looks like, and as well as sort of how that will stack up against their actual transactions and what they're spending. And I've really just sort of scraped the surface in the last week. So there's not really all that much to show you. I've thought about there was one article, it was a Medium article I read about using a text field and a table to kind of create like a spreadsheet with SwiftUI, but SwiftUI, the framework, isn't actually a particularly good tool, I think, for creating a custom spreadsheet. So you might notice on the left-hand side here as well, we have a spreadsheet folder under the views. So I thought about creating my own sort of sub-view, which I might try and render using like a lazy vertical grid or something. And that might work, but I haven't really thought too much about it. And when I do think about it, the more I think about it, the more I think maybe this isn't going to work as a tool. So a custom spreadsheet engine might be the better option, but that's quite I don't have the skill set just yet to do that, so that might be something to think about later, maybe read a few books on, I'm not sure. And the only other thing that I can think of, the only other update is that we have this app icon. So if you see down here, I created this app icon for the program. I did 20 other designs, and I'll put them on the screen somewhere around me, just so you can see what they look like, so you can see what my sort of design process might look like, how I sort of iterated over very quickly. It only took me about an hour or two to just generate quick, rapid ideas and see what I liked and didn't like, and it's good enough for now. So to be honest, that might be the biggest update I have this week, which is kind of a shame, to be fair, but it is what it is. It's oh well. So in terms of programming updates, that's all I have to share. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the white screen, and I'm going to just talk a little bit about the vision, and you're going to be able to see, I'm going to have some visual sort of representations of how I want this program to look and feel, and how the user should interact with it. And for me as well, that's just going to be a good way of sort of stating or expressing what I want this program to do. So let's do it. Let's do that.